Hello everybody, Lee Morgan. Well, we're at 6 here, we're doing pretty good. I'm at Naog Park here at the former pool complex. So I'm going to refer to this as Lake Lincoln again because I think that that's the way we should go with this park and with this swimming pool complex. I think it should be like the old Lake Lincoln was, going from one end to the other. And on the left, or on the right rather here, we should have a splash park on that side, okay, that's integrated and built into the pool. That would be a great place for small children to splash around and enjoy themselves. And then as the pool itself moves from that point across this, complex, it will, gradually get deeper. And when it reaches a center point, then again, it would start to recede in depth to the other end. I think it's important that the pool be used to teach Scrantonians and people in the county how to swim. I know it's got to be a wise choice, and the money's got to be spent correctly. The materials should be tested, whatever they may be, the concrete or whatever materials are being used in this project. I think we should pay a lot of attention to the quality of the materials and the quality of the workmanship. I know we're all waiting for the council to make some decisions with the mayor in regards to this project, but this is a project where all Scrantonians should really have a voice. I really don't appreciate the way that a lot of these projects are done because the people are shut out, and then it makes it look like the council knows better than what the people want. But in all reality, the council are representatives from the people. And if the people can't discuss what they want with their council in an open forum, then we're getting what they want. And I'd have to say that I'm really disappointed in the Novembrino pool conversion to a splash park. It just doesn't have it. I'm going to be real honest with you. I looked at it the other day. There were like 4 children there, and it was nothing to get excited over. It was just another waste of community development funds, and we've got to stop that really from happening, okay? We've got to build things and build a future for the residents of this city, and we've got to build things that we can protect and they can enjoy for generations. And I just think when you look at the perimeter of this pool, I believe the steps on the end were part of the old Lake Lincoln at one time. And if you go to archives and you look at Lake Lincoln, it was really vast compared to a small pool. Now, the city's going to say that, well, we don't have lifeguards. Well, the city should be training lifeguards, and organizations inside the city and the county should be training lifeguards. All children, whether they're in the city or the county, should learn to swim. It's very important that all children know how to swim. And I hope you can appreciate the things I'm saying here today. Because this, like I said before, this isn't about me. This is about us, all of us. And, I want to walk around the park a little bit, take a look at some of the other things here. But, I hope that you'd get involved and let your voice be heard, because we need to know from the council what they're going to do. And I hope that people would call the council and tell them that, in my opinion, and if you agree with me, that's fine. I hope you tell them that we need to go back to a Lake Lincoln type of a theme for this pool, okay, and build something not like the bathhouse here, because this is so small and so tiny, and they wasted a lot of community development money building that little tiny thing. When Mayor Doherty was mayor, we had a much larger pool house that was here on site that was doing the job, and we just got to stop that from happening. So we're going to go from here to another site inside the park, and hopefully you'll stick with us. We're here in front of Hanlon's Grove, and I just wanted to share with some people here about why it's so important to have a group of citizens on all these boards that grant money is spent on. I don't know if people remember the little arena that we had here that was like a very huge tent. I don't know if the people remember how we lost that. Okay, it was left out in a storm, and it collapsed, and it wasn't insured, and the city lost that. I just think that we are very haphazard with the things we try to build for the residents of this city and for the people who visit this park. I think it's important that we take a good look when we're going forward with projects in this city. I meant to mention over at the pool complex that, you know, we need to retain the slide and we need to retain the present pool house. Now, we may add on to the pool house to make it larger because it has to be, but those things were built with grant money, and there's no excuse to rip them down. They're functional, and they're really enhanced the park in a multitude of different ways. And I think if it's possible, the rec authority and the mayor should consider that when the new pool is built, there should be no fee to use that pool. You know, it's really important that when people come to the city and they want to just walk around such a beautiful park, don't forget that this park was donated to the city. The city didn't purchase this park. So, you know, we've got to be grateful for the things that we have that enhance our quality of life, and we need to share them with the residents and protect them. So, you know, I hope you could call the city council and the mayor and express the belief that the water slide has to stay in the pool house, and in addition to them would be fine. But, you know, we've got to protect grant money after it's spent. And a lot of money was spent in this park. I'm going to take a walk down by the bridge at this point, and I'd like to make a couple comments down there, and hopefully you'll stay with us. All right, here we are. We took a walk down by the Konjorsky Bridge because I wanted to take an opportunity to share an idea with the residents of the city. And I really think it has some merit. The Konjorsky Bridge is basically a bridge to nowhere. As you can see it, here it is. I mean, we'd have to do something to make the trail a lot more accessible because I don't know how people could come down that trail with their children with them or with strollers. But I think that the city of Scranton should try to raise the money with the help of the residents and the neighborhood associations to build a small amusement park on the other side of this bridge, like the one we had at Naog Park on the other side. And if anybody remembers when we were children, they had the little boats with the bell, they had the little roller coaster, they had the train, they had the arcade, they had the teacups. You know, they had a lot of small rides that children could really appreciate. And I think that that would be just one of the greatest enhancements we could give the park with the new pool. I mean, we just really have a shot here at doing something really well if the money involved is protected and the project falls within a scope that is affordable and beneficial to the residents of the city. But as we've seen over the long term, we've lost an awful lot of the things that we've built in this city with grant money, and we continue to lose them. And like I said, we have to leave something here for the children that is worth having. And as everybody knows, Naog Park was donated to the city, and it's really served us extremely well. I was here as a child. A lot of the people jumped into the water here by the falls. That's another important reason I came here, because I want to express to the residents how important it is, vitally, vitally important, not to close any more city pools, no matter where they are, because we've got to offer the children in this city a safe place to swim and cool off in the summer. And the last thing we want is to have children injured or drowned in places they shouldn't be at. And we've had that problem for a long time. I remember as a child, we came down here and one of the people that I was with, and I'm not going to mention his name, but he jumped off the chair, which is, I think that's what the name of it was, off one of those cliffs, and he broke his neck. He lived through it, but you know, it's just not the safe thing to do. And you have to understand one thing, like I've said many times before in these videos. Government was formed to serve people, and we've got to serve the children also in this community and give them safe places to be, like playgrounds and pools and structured things to do in the summertime. You know, we've got a terrible problem with drugs in our country. And I'm not going to point fingers at anybody because that's not the way to move forward. We've got to protect young children and young adults. And we've got to give them things to do, and we've got to make sure they're safe, because children are the most important asset, not only to their parents, but to the community. And I hope that people can really get their mind around that and understand that. You know, this isn't about me, and it's not about you. It's about all of us. So, you know, I have one more small clip I want to, you know, say something on. But, you know, just stick with me and get involved. Care about our city and our county. And let's move together and make this a better place for every one of us. And this is the last segment for today. I believe the zoo was built by the Work Project Association, and this is the remnants of it. It's really served the city, and it continues to do so. But, you know, I'm looking for the council and the mayor to increase funding to street cats. They work neutering cats and trying to control the population of feral cats throughout the city. And I've never really talked to the people who run this, but I do know that, in my opinion, they need more help. And I just hope that the council would take a good hard look at the amount of strays and abandoned cats that are throughout the city. And neutering is really very important. And having the funds necessary to make that happen is also important. But the other thing that's important is trying to catch some of these feral cats and, if possible, give them a good forever home somewhere with the resident of the city, or for that matter, just about basically anywhere that they can go and, you know, have a much better life than being on the street. And it's my hope that the state legislature would pass a law where cats have to have an implant so that when they become stray, they can make their way back to their owner, because I've seen instances where people just abandon their animals, move out and just leave them behind, and that's not good either. So, you know, I just wanted to touch on that since we're in the park, that I think the council and the mayor should sit down together before the budget is resolved and come up with a way to grant more funding to street cats, and maybe some people would volunteer for them. And I think it would be a very positive thing. I know that there's a couple organizations like this. There's one in Mashopin, and there's other ones that dot the area. And they really do a great job handling the amount of stray animals and finding homes for displaced animals. So I appreciate your time today. And like I said, let's work together. Let's work on the charter. Let's make the city better. Let's protect the grant money. And let's give the children of Scranton and Lackawanna County something to be proud of and leave something behind us that's worth having. Thank you.